I am not a climate skeptic. I have read whole books on the climate and why veganism is an excellent idea, but I am not doing veganuary this year. And here's why. But before we get into frivolous things like, I don't know, saving planet Earth, I need to show you this coat. Okay, I'm working winter style. It's freezing. Ooh, my ankles need some warmth. I'm so toasty. Oh wait, is that the sun coming out? What confusing British weather. What do I do about this wardrobe conundrum? What? It unzips? And now I've got a funky crop jacket? What? The things you find on Vinted, I tell you. I know. Anyway, now on with the less important stuff. Look, if you're watching this, it's the 1st of January. That means that chances are veganuary has already started and you are not on board. That is totally fine. There are so many reasons people worry about going vegan or struggle to go vegan, but I am here to urge you, nay, beg you, to half-arse it. Have you seen this tweet? I have to agree, it is a drag. We are all busy, but there is going to need to be some kind of revolution. I have made lots of videos on this channel about the climate crisis, and a lot of them have really tried to emphasize that the climate crisis is not a test of your individual perfectionism. And even if it was a test, we don't have the time for us to ace it. We don't have the time for you to come out on top. It is time to do what I've always done best when it comes to exams, which is show up with what you have, because flunking isn't an option, and the only way to make sure that you flunk is to not turn up at all. In my country, the Climate Change Committee recommends a 20% reduction in the overall consumption, that's important, overall consumption of meat and dairy by 2030 and 35% by 2050. Now, that means that I am not asking 100% from you or from myself. Even the Climate Change Committee isn't asking that of you. Radical actions are amazing. Changing your identity is cool, and if you feel moved to, please do. But if in your mind the options are between absolute commitment or zero action, and you're looking ahead at 2024 and not really planning to go veggie or vegan, I'm still asking you to join me in participating in veganuary in your own way. I'm going to tell you the way I'm going to do it, and I'm going to give you 10 options for you to choose from. Here's the menu, sir. Please. Take a seat. Number 1 is being a breakfast vegan, and in my opinion, with my life, this one is definitely the piece of piss option. Breakfast is something that I often only buy for once a week, if that. It's a decision fatigue free zone for me. And there's so much stuff that's vegan you can have for breakfast that you don't automatically think of when you think of, oh, vegan breakfast. Peanut butter and jam on toast, vegan. Bran flakes, vegan. Bananas on bagels, vegan. Often all you need to do is just check the back of your packet to make sure that your baked goods or your cereal is in fact vegan, and switch out your milk. So maybe you get oat milk or almond milk or soy milk, or you do what I used to do as a completely filthy, disgusting child and have orange juice on your Weetabix. And Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. This challenge was inspired by one of my favourite climate books called We Are the Weather. Changing the World Begins with Breakfast, and it talks about how breakfast is often the easiest thing to switch out and can have the most impact if everybody does it, because it's less culturally significant across the world. It's often a lot cheaper to switch out vegan stuff for breakfast than any other meal, I think. And generally, I think we just have a lot less emotions attached to breakfast. It feels like a really low stakes kind of meal for a lot of people. So if that sounds like something that you could do, you could be a breakfast vegan this January. Number 2 would to be a brand vegan. That means every time you pick up a brand that also makes a vegan option, for example, Options hot chocolate, Heinz baked beans with sausages, Cathedral City cheese, Boussin, French viewers, am I saying that right? They make a vegan one. It's actually really nice. Every time you go to pick up a brand that has another one on the shelf next to it, you have to buy the brand alternative. Number 3 is a tag vegan. This means tag teaming with a friend on veganuary. Maybe you've discussed recently with somebody how you'd like to, but it's not really practical or possible. Maybe do a dare together where you organise your days, you look at what's in the calendar, what's possible for you depending on what you're doing, or you just wing it or do one day on, one day off, and one of you is vegan on every day of January. Together you complete the 31 days, and where there would have been no vegan diet going on, one vegan diet happened. It just happened to be happening on 2 different people's plates. For number 4 and number 5, we are going in, out, and shake it all about. Number 4 is an eat out vegan. That means that whenever you're out for food, you look at the menu, and if there is a vegan option, you gotta order it. That's the dare. You got to try it. No less effort for you than ordering the other things on the menu. You're already outsourcing your cooking. I really like this option, and this is one I've been doing all of 2023. You can either do it in that you have to order it, or at least have to consider ordering it. And number 5 is an eat-in vegan. You might find that where you're living or where you tend to eat out at doesn't have very many vegan options, and it's kind of a bit of a nightmare. So instead, for January, you could be an eat-in vegan. Everything in the house is vegan. Everything that you're cooking in your evenings or for your lunches is vegan. But when you're out, you just proceed as normal. Number 6 is a snack vegan. This one's super fun. You get to try loads of new things. If the idea of cooking vegan meals is daunting to you, or you live in a household where you're not in control of the menu, snacks are a great way to go. It means eating all your meals like normal, but every time you reach for a chocolate bar or a cheese string or some beef jerky, as I've heard you eat in the States, don't. Eat something else. Try out different vegan snacks. It's a really fun exercise to try and find your new favourite thing that doesn't include animal products. And you can even do a little taste test party with your friends. Veganuary is a great time to do this because brands tend to bring out more vegan snacks. And it's a good way to inject a little bit of joy into your day, a little bit of variety, a little bit of spice, whilst also being nice to the little piggies, who I really like and we should start being nicer to, just saying. Number 7 is being a condiment vegan. This means when you're buying condiments like mayo, gravy, pesto, and you can even extend this to things like stock cubes, you buy the vegan option. Vegan mayo, indistinguishable from the normal one, but I'm not a really big mayo fan anyway, so who am I to say? Replacing stuff like that in your cupboard can extend past January as well. Once you've got it, it's kind of an easy switch. And I think this is an easy one as well because you don't buy condiments every day. You just have to go hunting for it once, and they usually last a couple of months. Number 8 is a no swap vegan, and this is something that I realised as somebody who's been vegetarian for 3 years, I had totally been doing. As a vegetarian, when I'd switched out a meat option, I sometimes defaulted, and usually because the eating out menus kind of prompt you to act that way, I defaulted to changing what would have been meat for something that was dairy. So a halloumi burger, for example, a cheese sandwich instead of a chicken sandwich. And impact-wise, it's not the most effective way to go. In fact, in some cases, I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose. So what a no-swap veganuary could look like to somebody who is veggie, but often does that, is that you don't. When you are eating something, the component of the meal that would have been meat to you, make sure that it's actually vegan. That way you can still maintain a vegetarian diet, but convert it to a much more impactful vegetarian diet, if you get me. Number 9 is being a nigella vegan. What is a nigella vegan, I hear you ask? Well, I just made it up. And you can switch out for any of your fave chefs. Dahlia, Nadia, Rick, Gordon, whoever inspires you. If you like mucking about in the kitchen, this is a perfect challenge to use your favourite chef as inspiration and become a chef for yourself. Your challenge for veganuary, should you choose to accept it, is to find your favourite vegan dish. You can't stop until you find it. Once you've found it, you can stop. But you need to try out cooking as many vegan recipes as possible until you find something you cannot stop eating. The most delectable thing you have ever tasted, and perhaps you can bring other people in on it too. What about Come Dine With Me Experimental Vegan Edition? Nigella vegans unite. Unite, my people, unite. And finally, number 10 is a points mean prizes vegan. And this is what I'm going to be doing in veganuary. Now, as a points mean prizes vegan, I am very well aware that not only are there 31 days in January, but that means that I'm probably going to be eating around 93 meals. And that sounds to me like 93 opportunities to get a point. And you know what I live for? More than fame, recognition, accomplishment, moral superiority. I live for points. I'm a brownie guide at heart. Okay, all I want is a little badge on my tabard. And so a points mean prizes vegan means that you are up for the challenge of trying to make as many meals in January as possible vegan. You keep a little log of it, maybe you give yourself a little sticker every time you do, and you also create thresholds for yourself. So say if you get to like 40 meals out of 93, you get a trip to the cinema, or a night in with your favourite film, or £25 to spend on Vinted, on, I don't know, the best coat in the world or something like it. For me, this really bypasses the restriction element of changing how you eat, and also feels more like you're achieving something every time you manage to get a vegan meal in, rather than constantly battling the boring rules of what you're not allowed to do. Thank you so much for joining me on this very beautiful 1st of January. I hope you have a great veganuary and this has given you some ideas, especially if you're trying to earn your positive panic patch. They're the Scout style patches I am selling on on my website if you would like to achieve some more climate dares this year. You set the dare, and this one is just about changing something about the way you eat. So I think if you complete any of these veganuary challenges, you deserve your patch. If you liked this video, the algorithm, the robots in the screen, think that you're specifically going to like this one. They've tailored this one to you. Or you could watch anything from my Positive Panic series over here, where we talk more about the climate in a cheerful, doom rolled in glitter, kind of less scary way. Thank you so much to the Gumption Club who make these videos possible. Frogs Nog out.